Summer is almost here, and to prepare, I've built the ultimate coastal beach house in Bloxburg. Like and subscribe if you're goated, and let's get straight into this build. So it's definitely been a minute since I've last posted. I'm just gonna say I was really busy. Obviously there's a lot of things that went into it. I wasn't even active on the Discord, which is normally super active. You guys should definitely join, by the way. And so a little bit of a surprise, but I was obviously busy with finals. I had my AP exams in May, and then we have more finals during this month. So, you know, not done yet, but it's been pretty stressful. I was kind of really focused on those. I was studying every day. I also had like some summer programs, like internships, you know, my SAT, ACT, all that stuff that I've got to work through right now. So that is, I guess, a little bit of why I'm busy, I guess, why I haven't been posting. Obviously though, summer is basically here, and of course I'm back. Gotta celebrate me being back with a beautiful little coastal build, which of course I am going to be using a vaulted ceiling at the top for, the layout of which was pretty interesting. I think it was symmetrical, which made it a lot easier, but I had to use these wedges in order to make it perfect, and those are always a pain. But I think I've developed a pretty good system for making roofs. It's definitely not perfect, and this one was super rushed. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely could have made it like perfect, and instead it's kind of just perfect-ish, you know? But if I did want to try hard a little more and make it really perfect, I would probably just have to spend like 10 more minutes on it, and it would be pretty much good. Other than that though, the layout of the house itself I got from a website. I'm not really sure what the website was. It was just some kind of beach house website. Like, they had a bunch of beach houses on there, and so I was pretty much using that. It was a beautiful beach house, I'm not gonna lie. I did deviate from it just a tiny bit at the end, which you guys will see. And I also forgot to mention, this is literally a part one. I kind of, spoiler, the other part will be coming out sometime this weekend. And yeah, you guys will definitely have to stay tuned for that, because obviously I focus on the interior or the exterior only for this part, and in the next part I do the exterior and interior. So like, I finish everything basically, and it's awesome. One of my favorite builds so far, and definitely a great build to kick off the summer with. Even though I guess summer hasn't officially started, it pretty much has officially started, you know? So finishing up the roof here, I wanted to add more details and kind of add this overhang to the roof as well, because it would just look so weird if the roof just ended. There's plenty of different ways to do it. I decided to use vertical planks, as I feel like those are pretty easy. And then I painted it all dirt stains at first, because the reference photo kind of looked like it was this metal, you know, kind of roof material, and I didn't really like it. So I do end up changing that eventually. But of course I had to do the inside and make sure the inside had different color walls than the rest of the build. So I made it all snow just to give it kind of like a painted texture look, which I think turned out really nice. I do think I'm going to end up adding decal floors. I think I'm going to add decal floors when I do the rest of the interior. But for now, the kind of beige and white was good enough for me. I didn't like how dark it looked in here. It kind of looked like gloomy. So I do end up fixing that, and you'll see a couple friends end up helping me just cause. I think I'll give them shout outs really quick. Nicholas, Kotak, this guy named Core, and yeah, they ended up helping. I think that was everybody. They didn't do much, I'm just saying. I did all of it. Nah, Kotak did like some windows and stuff, these doors, a fireplace, which was cool, but obviously this is the exterior video, so you're not even gonna see it. And then I don't even know what the rest of them did. Like, I couldn't tell you, but they definitely helped, so had to give them a shout out, you know. But yeah, other than that, I went ahead and added these doors. I figured these would be best because the fences, like, they're smaller, so you don't need a big door in this kind of attic, because it just wouldn't fit really well. I think that was my thought process anyways. Anyways, after that, I had obviously to add these things, whatever they are, because it's a beach house. I actually have no idea what they are or what they do, but they're in pretty much every beach house, so I added them. And then here is where I'm going to change the color of the roof, because honestly, its color was pretty disgusting. No, I mean, it was okay, it just wasn't really my style. I also kind of ignored how some of the bricks are like the wrong way, you know what I mean? Which didn't really matter. So I'm gonna do the garage now. It's not really a real garage. Oh, I guess I'm not doing it anymore. But it wasn't really a real garage. It was kind of just like an outside thing that ends up getting covered later on. And I did the walkway and whatnot. I actually made the build really close to the sidewalk, which was another mistake of mine. I also varied up these colors a lot by, you know, just painting them all kind of different shades of the same gray, which I think does end up looking really, really nice. I really like doing that. Kind of makes them look a little weathered, you know, worn down a bit. And after that, I had to add some structurals to actually make it look kind of realistic and not just like floating with pillars under it. This kind of actually makes it look like it's really up there and it's really being supported. And if I didn't do that, I don't know, it probably would have looked really ugly. I'm not even sure why I'm rotating this piece here. I guess it was misaligned. But I did want to keep this kind of cartoony. I painted those all plastic, and then I got started on these fences in between the pillars. I'm a big fan of how this all turned out. This build is a very like trust the process build. Like, it really doesn't look good right now, but I'm sure you've seen the thumbnail and you might know it does end up looking pretty good. And next I made these palm trees. I don't think I've ever seen anybody make palm trees like this, or any trees like this. Maybe I'm the first. I doubt it, but it turned out super nice like this. I really like doing this. There was a couple more details that I added later, which was I put like the tropical leaf plants and I painted them brown and put it at the top. And it looked like, I don't even know what that part of a palm tree is called, but it looked like that on a palm tree, whatever that is, if you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it was really cool. I made a bigger one, and then I went ahead and got those in place. I also had to add a little more leaves to that big one and then kind of change them around just so that it looks like an actual palm tree. So yep, once that's all fixed up, I colored them a little, just that one and like a couple others. And then I went ahead and added more trees. At this point, I was really focused on the landscaping, and this is when Kotak joined me to do the windows. I was going to do the staircase out in the front and in the back. Now, these had to be custom because they didn't have any staircase like it in game. And I really do like how they turned out. I guess I don't really remember my process, but I kind of just used the in-game staircase as a reference so that I don't make stairs that are too big or too small. And of course, that always works great. I usually do that for whenever I'm making custom staircases, but yeah, it worked really nicely here. I loved the colors, and you'll see I do a little bit more work to make everything look really, really good, such as adding this little piece there and then connecting it all and fixing just some kind of dimensions and whatnot. And eventually things do start to look really, really good. I know I take a look at these these nice doors that Kotak was making. Those did turn out really nice. And then I was just making general fixes to the build. Like, it's a little difficult because it's like I wanted to follow the reference, but at the same time I wanted to not be like limited by the reference. So I would often like deviate kind of from what the reference was showing, but it's alright. And I think actually it made the build look a lot nicer, and I think that's pretty much the point. I mean, you can always have a reference and you never really have to follow the reference, you know what I mean? It is just a reference. You don't have to copy anything. I think that's something that I like to remember whenever I'm building personally. Anyways, I got started on the railings. I had to make them pretty perfect, which was a little... Actually, it was kind of easy, not gonna lie. But I did that, and then I also added these little beam thingies for support. And I had to make those all on the same grid as well, just so I can easily copy and paste them. And you know, it did turn out really nice. I began to do some landscaping. I mean, you can already see the build kind of just without the landscaping. It already kind of looks better than it did earlier. And then once I add all this landscaping with the rocks and the plants, things just start to look way, way nicer really, really quickly. And I didn't even add a lot of landscaping. I mostly added rocks. And the reason I added rocks is I just really love how beach houses look with all the rocks. It's like normally when you're at this kind of like tropical setting, there's more like rocks and leafy plants, and so I tried to go with that. I think I did a great job, but you guys can definitely be the judge of that and let me know down in the comments. I was running out of money really quickly too, and of course I had to add my favorite gardening item, the field of leaves. Just looks so good, and I made them kind of like turning and whatnot, and it kind of looked like the grass was flowing, and I really liked that. I thought it looked sick, especially with the theme of the build being like coastal and whatnot, like beach house. It was perfect. And of course I added these beams as well. I wasn't really sure what to do with the other side, but I just decided to pretty much continue these like log thingies just straight instead of making them jut out from the side. I'm not sure if I included it, but yeah, I added some more details to the porch now, and then of course I just kind of copy and pasted those around, added a little bit more gardening. You can see I have no money left at this point. I get some money though. Oh yeah, I added this car. I definitely changed up a little bit of the colors just to make things way more like tropical, you know? Anyways, to make things more tropical again, I added some vines. Of course, I do actually like vines now. I don't know, I kind of changed my mind. They can always enhance a build as long as there's not too many of them. And especially if you use the right looking vine. Those vines are gorgeous. Obviously, I didn't overdo it. I only added one little vine. I might add one more to the other side, but that is probably enough for me, you know? Don't gotta go crazy overboard with the decal plants, even though I already have a ton of decals in this build. They look amazing. Don't care what anybody says. You guys know what time it is. It is tour time. Starting down here with the garage area, I definitely will add more details down there and make it actually look like a garage. But I wanted to show off the beautiful windows and all of the details on the outside so far. The beautiful landscaping and architecture. It goes hand in hand. I loved the wooden things up there. Little sneak peek of the inside here. But I loved those wooden logs up there. I think they really make the build look amazing. And it helps a lot with the porch area. You can see those awesome doors that Kotak made. I also wanted to just kind of show off what the inside of the vaulted ceiling looked like, because it did look pretty good. The only imperfection is pretty much that right there, which I will fix very easily. And of course, get the vines out of here. This is not the end. This is only part 1, guys. Stay tuned for part 2. This was Tygr, and I'm going to see you guys later. Peace.